At 515 Jarvis Street, just north of Wellesley, is the Keg Mansion that was originally built in 1868 by Arthur McMaster, the nephew of William McMaster, who was the founder of McMaster University. Hart Massey purchased the house in 1882 and lived there with his family. Hart Massey was born in a log cabin in 1823 in Upper Canada. He inherited his father's agricultural equipment company, Massey Harris, and turned it into an international empire. He was the first one to mark his equipment with "Made in Canada." He was described as gaunt and towering and was extremely punctual. He would open his front door every day at 6 a.m. to get the Globe newspaper. At 9:15 a.m. sharp, he was dropped off from his carriage to his vast business complex where only one building still remains on King Street West. The Masseys were a Methodist family who were involved in the arts and considered elites in Toronto. There are many buildings and places that are associated with this family. Hart and his wife Eliza had 4 surviving sons and 1 daughter. His daughter, Lillian Massey, was not allowed to see any boys or suitors, and when she waved to a boy, he put her on a diet of bread and water. Lillian was 42 when she married a year after her father died in 1896. 2 years before Hart died, she helped him establish the Fred Victor Mission in honor of Hart's youngest child, Frederick Victor, who died when he was 14. When Hart Massey died, Lillian inherited the house and named it Euclid Hall. It wasn't very normal in those times for women to have as much power as Lillian did. She created programs for girls in household sciences and art. In 1902, she successfully created a 4-year degree program at the University of Toronto. Shortly after setting up the Lillian Massey School of Household Science and Art, it was renamed to the Lillian Massey Normal Training School of Household Science, which sounds very normal. She was described by her nephew as a hypochondriac, and her husband didn't have any children together. It was 1915 when she was sick in her bed and died in her bedroom. When Lillian died, her maid, who it said she was very close with, hung herself from the railing of the vestibule above the main staircase. People believed the maid was heavy with grief. Other sources suggest Lillian's maid was having a secret affair with a married Massey and would be found out after Lillian died. Another story is that she was pregnant. Nothing about the maid hanging herself seems normal. I wonder how close she and Lillian were. I wondered, was she a surrogate for an heir for Lillian and her husband? Supposedly, there are no historical records that can point to why the maid actually hung herself. When Lillian died, she left Euclid Hall to U of T. So was her maid worried about being out of a job? The Keg purchased the house in 1976, and since it's become a steakhouse and been called the most haunted place in Toronto. Staff have reported seeing a woman dangling from a noose, swinging slowly from the posts of the vestibule railing. She is only ever seen in this location at the grand staircase and nowhere else in the house, and she is always hanging. What is even normal anyways? Is it normal for there to be an underground tunnel from your mansion to a nearby hospital? Is it normal to use the washroom of a steakhouse and feel you are being watched? Or doors are unlocked and toilets flush when no one is there? Or a wine bottle in a plastic bag hung on a hook while a woman uses the toilet is taken off the hook and put on the floor? Those Masseys did not drink, you know. Is it normal for a guest of the restaurant to exit the washroom and see a woman dressed in old-fashioned black clothing but told that there was no woman staff working that night? All of this happens to be totally normal in the Keg Mansion. Is it normal for people to use your bedroom as a bathroom? It is not, so imagine how Lillian Massey's ghost must feel when the steakhouse patrons are in her bedroom relieving themselves. Very not normal things are happening in this building. Guests have reported seeing a little boy watching them or playing on the stairs. Some report hearing children laughing and running up the stairs. It could be the ghost of a boy who fell down the stairs and died after the Masseys owned the house. There is a book the Keg has that records paranormal activities. An entry from June 2013 lists that a group went to the third floor to talk to the ghost of the boy and brought a recording device. When they asked him how old he is, a quiet voice replied, 6. There is also a record logged from one Saturday night when a spindle from the staircase dropped down onto the bar below, terrifying everyone who heard the crash. The spindle was repaired and documented in a logbook. 1 year to the day later, the exact same spindle fell down again. As late as October 2015, the spindle had come loose and was noticed during an inspection. Staff report lights turning on and off, and we spoke to one that believes there is at least one ghost, but that the ghost is friendly. The staff member was carrying a stack of dishes down the service staircase when she lost her footing and started to fall, and it felt like someone grabbed her shirt collar and pulled her back so that she was able to grab onto the railing and stop from falling. She also told us that one night a man in a top hat was seen walking around before any guests were in the building. Have you ever had dinner with a ghost? Would you have dinner with a ghost? Why not do something totally normal and go out for dinner? You could eat at the Haunted Keg Mansion, and even if you don't see a ghost, they will see you.